Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to go through today all the various best combinations for doing a motovlogging setup. I'm going to go through what I'm currently running and take you through different options from the cheapest and most basic through different steps, through different cameras and different comm systems and different audio setups so that you can make the best decision for your budget and what you need to do with it. Now, the very simplest thing you can do is directly mount a camera, be it a Hero series. And by the way, I'm going to just mention GoPros here because the clones have varying degrees of quality and not all of this even works with anything but a true GoPro. But the very basic setup you can do is a plain GoPro, be it a Hero series or a Session, and just mount it directly onto the front of your camera with a regular old skeleton frame. Now, this is going to give you great video, and depending on the setup of your bike, it can actually give you pretty good audio of the bike itself. The caveat is you usually have to stick with lower speeds, and if you have a windscreen that is directing wind near the camera, that's going to often give you a lot of wind noise. So it's not going to pick up your voice, but if you're just looking for a ride video, this can work really well. If you just want video and you're going to maybe put an audio track or music over it, this is a great simple setup. Doesn't require anything special. Now, the next step up from there is using a Hero 3 or 4 series, and what you can get is the GoPro mic adapter. This is a regular USB connection and a mic connection on the other side. This plugs into the USB port on the GoPro. On the 3 or 4 series, it's a very simple connection. There's just one special circuit in here. Inside this end of the connection, there's a special resistor that, when plugged in, tells the GoPro that this port is being used as a mic and not as a charger at the moment. So what it does is switch the audio from the internal mics on the GoPro over to this. So you can plug in the mic of your choice, and really there are a wide variety of mics that work very well inside a helmet. And then that allows you to get great audio inside your helmet. Now, depending on your mic configuration, you may need to put a dead cat over it. It also depends on your exact helmet configuration, if that's even a viable option. For me, this is a very well-fitting helmet. I don't have very much room at all on my chin bar between my mouth and the helmet. So using a regular mic with a dead cat isn't an option because it would just be sitting on my lip. I use a second Cena mic, the little surface mount that comes with the 20S or the 30K, into the helmet, and I plug that through an adapter directly into the camera when I use this type of setup. And that gives you top-notch quality out of your voice, and it can also pick up the bike very well. This is the Hero 4 Black. Now, there are no audio options at all on the 3 or 4 series, so the processing itself, the sound of the mic, and all of the wind noise or lack thereof is completely up to your mic selection, placement, and use of a dead cat, the quietness of your helmet, the wind stream, and all that. There's nothing in the camera that you can do about any problem that you might have. But you get very good audio quality from a direct wired connection like this, and of course, very good visual quality. You just don't have any image stabilization. But it picks up the voice and bike sounds very well. Now, the downside to running a bare camera or a bare camera with an external mic adapter is there's no waterproofing. So if you're in an area that gets a lot of rain, or if you typically ride in the rain for whatever reason, like I do, this isn't a great setup, obviously. But if you're a fair weather rider, or you just don't get a lot of rain, you're lucky enough to, say, live and ride in California or parts of Texas, yada, 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 this is absolutely just fine. Now, I did a video a little while ago where I custom constructed a waterproof case and connection for an internal mic into the helmet. This is a modified Sena case that I'll show you in a second, and it's basically a hardwired adapter. It's this that I deconstructed, kept the resistor, custom wired it all together, and then custom wired in a jack to the bottom here, and then I can run my mic into my helmet. This keeps it completely waterproof and still gives me the great wired sound. The downside to this, in states like this, in Florida, on hot, bright, sunny days, it overheats. The camera will shut down, glitch, periodically just freeze after 20-30 minutes, and it's simply not a viable option for me. I've had it kill a lot of videos, so I've moved away from this setup, even though the quality was absolutely top-notch. For the very best waterproofing, what you need is a GoPro 3 or 4 series and this Sena GP10 backpack. This is a Bluetooth receiver, and it works in conjunction with any of the Sena units. However, these are the only two you want to really use with it. And it plugs into the back of your GoPro. Again, only the 3 or 4 series, because the 5 and 6 do not use backpacks anymore. And that gives you a direct wired connection to the GP10, and then that Bluetooth to your Sena. This all goes inside the Sena case, and this special case has extra width, and that allows for the connection here on the side and the extra depth of the backpack. Keeps everything 100% waterproof, and there you go. Downside is the case is optional. It's not too expensive, it's about 40 bucks. They don't last a whole heck of a lot. You can see the discoloration. That's only from about a year of use. I do end up having to replace this case every so often, but it does work, and you don't have the overheating problem, because unlike running a bare camera in direct sun, this backpack acts as a heat sink, and it's just enough to keep the camera completely cool enough to keep recording. I get hours and hours and hours of continuous recording. This is what I use on all my trips. I'm recording all day long. I'm just swapping out battery after battery, and it works great. You can also plug in an external battery here at any time and charge both the backpack and the GoPro at the same time, so it's very convenient. Now, the downside to running this setup is your audio is being actually piped through and recorded through your Sena units. These have excellent noise canceling and wind canceling capabilities. Great for your voice, bad for bike sounds. So you don't get a lot of really cool exhaust note tones out of your recordings. This is really only good if you're just concerned about your voice. This is the 4 Black with the Sena GP10 backpack. This is completely wireless and completely waterproof. You have excellent pickup of the voice, but not so much of the bike. It's there, but not as good as a wired connection for sure. Now, you do have excellent wind reduction. That's controlled in the Sena itself. This is with wind reduction and audio boost on. Now, a note about comm systems. If you're on the less expensive 5 or 10 series, while they do connect to the GP10 and they give clean audio, you don't have any crackling or popping, they give subpar audio quality as far as the fidelity. Only the 20 or 30K series have top voice quality capability to the GP10, so you're definitely going to want to upgrade. If you're on the 20 series, either the original 20S or the Evo, you really want to downgrade to firmware 1.6.2. You can download it manually from Sena and update it through the computer. They have not updated this in over a year. This is a done series. Firmware above that gives a lot of crackling and popping noise when working with the GP10. I do not suggest going over that firmware, so flash to 1.6.2 and leave it there forever. If you're on a 30K, the latest firmware is nice and clean. Very slightly less fidelity than the 20S series. That's the trade-off for getting clean audio, but it still works very well. So this is the current best setup. This is a GoPro 6, 5 mounts, and works exactly the same way. I had a 5 and I returned it because there was hardly any difference between the 5 and the 4. The image stabilization is just about worthless on the 5. You basically don't even know if it's turned on. The 6 is phenomenal. Excellent stabilization. The 5 and 6 don't require a case. The camera alone is waterproof. However, if you plug in an external mic like this, it is no longer waterproof because you have to remove the little sealed door on the side. So if I do get caught in the rain, all of this snaps off very quickly. I have this mic adapter on double-sided tape and Velcro, so it just comes on and off. And of course the camera just comes on and off with the normal adapter here. Now this is my setup. I use Sugru, which I got at Target. You can get it at many craft stores. It's basically a little moldable epoxy paste, and you can custom make any kind of mount. So if, like me, you've got a fairly sharp bend here at the chin and you can't directly put on a GoPro mount, this gives you a custom surface. Absolutely rock solid. Now I have my mounts here set up so that I can put on either my 4 or 6 with or without my case, so I've got the extra depth and I don't have to adjust anything. You can put whatever kind of combination here. If you want it a little closer, if you're only going to run the camera ever, you can do whatever you want. I have it mounted up high enough where I can set the helmet down. Doesn't hit on anything, never gets adjusted. It's one simple twist here, take everything on and off, goes back into perfect position. That's all I ever have to do. Now, unlike the 3 and 4 series where it takes a regular mic adapter here, this is just a dummy connector. You only have one choice with the 5 and 6 series, and that's the official GoPro mic adapter. This is a smart device. It's not just going between 2 cable formats. This uses a USB-C type connector, and it does multiple things. When this is plugged into the camera knows it's there, and it gives you multiple audio options. This can work with powered or non-powered mics, and it can give you an optional 20 decibel boost to give you the absolute best audio quality no matter what kind of mic situation you've got going on. So it's a very handy device. It's well worth 50 bucks because it gets you the best quality no matter what you're running. Downside is it's a little ungainly to mount. This is a very thick, non-flexible wire. You really don't have too many position options on what you can do with it. But this setup gives you the absolute best in non-waterproof audio and video quality.
And here's the 6. You get the best of both worlds. Excellent video quality with stabilization. Excellent audio. This is with Pro Tune on, locked in stereo mode, low audio processing, standard mic mode. You get excellent voice, excellent wind protection, and excellent bike sounds. Now, a note on connecting a mic into the 5 or 6 adapter. The physical plug needs to be what's called a TRS, not a TRSS. Basically, you look on the physical plug and the isolation rings are what separates the two. You need one with 2 isolation rings, not 3, or you get no audio.
So there you go, guys. Hope this helps somebody make a decision. This is what I'm running. I've basically run every possible combination over the years, and I alternate between this combination when it's not raining and the 4 with the GP10 if I'm going to be running through the rain a lot. And that gives me the best of both worlds. See you next time.